I want to be spiritually minded at all times, walking in the Spirit at all times, setting my mind on things above where Christ sitteth at the right hand of God, and not let it be on earthly things, carnal things, mundane things. Why? Because there's safety in it. That's the secret place. That's where I am safe. Safe from what? Safe from sin. Safe from letting when I let my mind wander and I'm not paying attention, and I allow it to think whatever it thinks, feel whatever it wants to feel, then what happens is, next thing you know, somehow you're thinking about something that's not good. You might be thinking about a person that you don't like, or you might be thinking about something that you desire that is not appropriate, or that is not time for you to have, or it's just things that get in the way of God. And when you are spiritually minded, when you're walking in the Spirit at all times, and trying to control the mind so that it doesn't float, doesn't wander off, in getting into things that it doesn't need to get into, which those thoughts affect your feelings, your attitudes. And now there's an attitude. Now there's an offense or an anger or anything, lust, whatever. Now you're dealing with that. Now you're trying to resist those sins. But if you keep your mind set on Him at all times, your affections on things above where He is, and not on earthly things, when you're walking in the Spirit at all times, there's safety in it. What is the safety? Safety in Him. Safety where it's a secret place where you're hidden, a place where you don't sin. Because that's what He says in Galatians. The flesh lusteth against the Spirit, the Spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. But how does He want us to overcome it? Walk in the Spirit. If we walk in the Spirit, we will not fulfill the lust of the flesh. That's how we keep from sinning. That's how we keep from allowing Satan. See, Satan attacks the mind. He introduces a thought. If we dwell in the thought and allow it to germinate and take root, now we have a problem. Now we want it, we want to do it, but we're trying to resist it, and it's hard. So don't give him a foothold. Don't allow the thought to take place. If we keep our minds focused on God, if we keep our minds spiritual, if we're spiritually minded at all times, then Satan has a harder time introducing thoughts, temptations, because we're spiritually minded. So he can't insert those thoughts to cause us to be tempted. He has a harder time because our minds are not on the carnal, our minds are not on the earthly, they're on the spiritual level. So he can't, the temptations don't work, or the thoughts that he wants for us to think, we can't. He can't get us to do it because we're spiritually minded. But it takes work. You have to be constantly focused, self-aware. Where's your mind? What are you thinking about? Constantly aware. How are you feeling? Why are you feeling that way? And if we're not in the right, aligned with God, then get aligned. Come under the yoke of Jesus. Be intentional. Set your affections on things above. Your mind set on Him. Every time it wanders off, bring it back. And this is where there's safety. Safety from what? Safety from sin. Safety from being tempted to the point where you want to give in. Because we're not allowing Satan to take a foothold in our minds.